What's happening, Who Dat Nation? Welcome into today's show. Before we get into today's Saints news, rumors, and updates, I just want to give a quick shout out to the LSU Tigers for winning their 7th College World Series title. So show some love, put that ring on, type Go Tigers in the comment section. Honestly, Cam Jordan might be next doing this thing. All right, I'm back. I moved into my new apartment. Wedding is in the back burner. It is time to talk some Saints football, and it is so good to be back with all of you, Who Dat Nation. Thank you guys for bearing with me as I was out of town and as I wasn't able to provide a ton of videos over the weekend, but we were still able to put out some shorts, some community posts, and a couple videos. So thank you guys to all of you who tuned in, watched those, and interacted with us. Be sure to subscribe so that way you never miss a thing. But guys, I just want to start off today's show. Everyone, let's take a deep breath. Sigh of relief, because Mike Florio reports that the New York Jets anticipate being forced to host HBO's docuseries Hard Knocks, which I'm a big fan of. Hard Knocks. I love the show. I think it's always an interesting, inside scoop and kind of behind the scenes of what goes on at training camp. And personally, as a fan, I would have liked to see the Saints get it because I want to see my team get some love. I want to see my team in the spotlight. Cam Jordan, Jameis Winston, Jamal Williams. The vibes are immaculate in New Orleans. That being said, I also am very okay with the Jets getting Hard Knocks. And as we expect, this is why it makes sense to me. And Aaron Rodgers is a very intriguing storyline. I think that he is a guy who had a lot of the NFL media captivated throughout his process of getting traded, then maybe not getting traded, then definitely getting traded, all sorts of crazy things going on. But the Jets also have a very young and talented team. There's a lot of young players on that team. They are not the New York Jets that we once saw with Mark Sanchez doing the butt fumble. They're now a team that wins a lot of games, that's competitive, that has a very intriguing defense led by Sauce Gardner. I think that defense is a very talented group, and like I said, it's a historically bad team that's on the rise, and I think there's a lot of intrigue there. And on top of that, with the Aaron Rodgers stuff, I just think that he's kind of just going to bring a lot of clips. Like, we're just going to get clips on clips on clips on Twitter, TikTok, IG Reels and stuff of Aaron Rodgers just saying stuff about doing peyote and DMT and his darkness retreat and all sorts of other psychedelic weird stuff that I don't really know or understand anything about. But guys, I'm glad. I'm just glad that the Saints do not have to deal with this because this team has so much to prove. They have so many doubters. They have so much hate going into this season. There's so many big question marks as well. And I think that this team could cause some real noise in the regular season. They have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. They have a very talented team. I would argue a top 10 talented roster across the board. They have a phenomenal defense that's elite. They have a great offense with a strong leader at quarterback who's capable and seasoned and understands how to win in the NFL. And on top of all of that, they are in a very weak division and a very weak conference. In terms of like the pecking order of the NFC, Eagles and Niners are up here, and there's kind of a gap. It's, Cowboys, Giants, maybe the Vikings, maybe the Lions, maybe there's a couple other teams here and there you could argue. But I still think that the New Orleans Saints are in that conversation as that second tier of teams that could really make some noise. And I think an unnecessary distraction is exactly that. An unnecessary distraction. Bringing in Hard Knocks to this team would only deter away from the vision and distract Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael, which personally, I think that they need no distractions. They just focus on football, get it right, and win some damn games. And my take on Aaron Rodgers with all of this, like I said, I think he's just going to be an interesting guy to monitor and watch at training camp. He's going to say some weird things. He's going to have some interesting takes. He's also just like not going to – I'm really intrigued how he's going to respond to being in the major media, being up in New Jersey and New York where there's a lot of coverage. There's a lot of spotlights going on you. I think it's going to be very intriguing, and I think it's going to be interesting to watch what Aaron Rodgers has to say, how he performs. And also, is there going to be like some beef or something weird with Zach Wilson and him? I don't know. Maybe we see one of Zach Wilson's mom friends. That would be kind of cool. But guys, let me know. What say you? Will Aaron Rodgers keep Hard Knocks juicy this year, or is it just going to be lame? Because personally, I thought last year's Lions Hard Knock session was awesome. I thought it was very juicy. The Cardinal session, pretty lame. So let me know. Type J for juicy, type L for lame. And while you're venturing on down there, we are in the midst of a sub battle this week. So we kind of have a little bit of a, we were kind of on, starting from behind, but not really, because the Falcons channel put out a video yesterday. They only picked up 2 subs. We didn't even put out a video. We put a short out yesterday. We picked up 4 subs. So let's keep the momentum going. Let's keep the engine going. Let's keep the wheel turning, and let's get these subs up there. We just passed 15,000 subs. I want to hit 16,000 subscribers before NFL preseason week 1. So help us out. Lock us in. Subscribe if you hate the Atlanta Falcons, you despise the Buccaneers, and you think that the Carolina Panthers are a bunch of frauds. Now, don't forget about Trevor Penning. And why am I bringing this up? Because Bleacher Report put out a pretty interesting article that I read up on this morning, and they pretty much just listed out 8 players that from the 2022 NFL draft class that they are going to be watching and monitoring at training camp. And I really like what Kristopher Knox had to say on Trevor Penning. But before we get to that, I want to give a quick plug for these awesome shirts. Chatsports.com/Saints4th. Go get geared up for the 4th of July. It's around the corner. I already ordered my t-shirt. I'm going to be repping it at my parents' house. They live outside of city limits, so we're shooting off fireworks left and right. We're going to have the drinks flowing. Food's going to be out the wazoo, and it's going to be amazing. But I'm going to be rocking this t-shirt, and I hope that you join me doing the same thing. Chatsports.com/Saints4th. That link will be available for you in the comment section and in the description of today's video. So as for what Kristopher Knox had to say, entering year 2, the 24-year-old is expected to compete with James Hurst for the starting left tackle job. Hurst, who started 16 games in 2022 and has 80 starts on his resume, is a capable option. But New Orleans believes that Penning has the higher upside. The competition at left tackle will be a big part of Saints camp, as New Orleans will be breaking in a new starting quarterback in Derek Carr. If Carr is to make the Saints a legitimate contender in the NFC South, he'll need to stay healthy and upright throughout the 2023 season, and Trevor Penning is a big part of that. Now, I'll say this. If Penning stays healthy, this offensive line could be dangerous. And right after asking you this question, I'm going to show you guys some PFF numbers and show you some stats, and maybe you guys are going to look at it and be like, it's not that impressive, Trace. What are you talking about? But let's bear in mind, Cesar Ruiz is coming off his career best year. I truly do believe he's going into a contract year, so he has to perform well. If he wants to earn another contract with the New Orleans Saints or anywhere in free agency, he has to have an excellent performance this upcoming season. So I expect Cesar Ruiz to take some steps. Ryan Ramczyk, we know what he is. He's a stud. Eric McCoy, also a great football player. But Nick Saldiveri is a guy that I think could challenge a player like Andrus Peat for a starting role. So either way, you're going to get the best out of Andrus Peat, or you're going to get Nick Saldiveri and the best out of him. So I think that this offensive line could be dangerous. But before I get to some numbers and get to some stats, how many games do you think Trevor Penning will play in 2023? Let me know in the comment section. He had a couple injuries last year. He had the Liz Frank. He had the foot injury. He had all sorts of weird stuff going on. So let me know in the comment section. Take a guess, how many games will Trevor Penning play in 2023? So let's take a look at the overall PFF grades, because I think that it's pretty intriguing. So Trevor Penning, you can see right here, 73.6. Now, I will say this. It's only on 124 snaps, very limited sample size, but what we saw was very impressive, especially in that run blocking game. We can take a look at his run blocking stats: 80.2, 38.7 as a pass blocking, not that good. However, 0 sacks, and I believe he had less than 2 penalties. Could have even had 0. I'm off the top of my head. I can't remember, so apologies for that. But he was very productive, and he didn't have as many issues as a lot of people were saying or were assuming were going to be the case coming out of his rookie year, where he's unpolished, he's too aggressive, he's this, he's that. He actually showed some pretty good promise. Andrus Peat, though, 50.6 PFF grade last season. Eric McCoy, your center, a 61.2. Cesar Ruiz, 56.6, and that's one of his best years he's had so far. And Ryan Ramczyk, future Hall of Famer, just an absolute stud, an absolute rock star, 77.9. That's no surprise there. But I think that these PFF numbers, you can look at them and be like, it's not that impressive. And I totally understand, and I totally agree with you. It's not that impressive. However, I also think that there was just a lot of, misusage, a lot of poor play calling, a lot of just bad management, not from the players, but from the coaching staff. So some of that blame, I'm going to place a little bit on the coaching staff. Obviously, they're not the ones blocking, but I think that the coaching staff and the play calls and how everything panned out did affect these numbers. So Dennis Allen is also pretty high on Trevor Penning. He recently said that if we can keep him healthy, the sky's the limit in terms of what he can do. He's big. He's physical. I love his play demeanor. He's athletic for a guy of his size, and we're excited about the player. So, guys, if you want the offensive line to keep Derek Carr healthy this year, let's bring the good juju. Don't jinx it. I don't know about y'all. I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. So let's get the good juju rolling. Type who dat in the comments section. And also, guys, hit me up on social media. I'm trying to grow my social media. Excuse me, y'all. I am currently at 1,254 followers on Twitter, 1778, almost pretty close to a good number for 4th of July weekend, 1776. But 145 on TikTok. Hit me up. I made it at TraceGerard48 on all 3 of those platforms to make it easy for you guys. Hit me up. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. And as always, y'all stay golden. We'll catch you next time.